Okay, today we're going to talk about how to write linear equations in slope-intercept form. Okay, slope-intercept form, remember, looks like this. Y equals mx plus b, where m is the slope and b is the y-intercept. So we have two of them where I tell you the slope and the y-intercept. The first one, slope is 3. Remember, m represents slope. Y-intercept is 11, and the letter B represents y-intercept. So if we know the slope and the y-intercept, we can just take these two things and put them right into that equation. We would have y is equal to slope is 3x plus y-intercept is 11, 3x plus 11. And the second one is the same thing. And we have slope is -5, so y is equal to -5x. And this time the y-intercept is -2, so we say -2. That's correct. And now the third problem, this one is just a little bit different than the two we did up there. We have the slope is given to you, but this time it's the x-intercept and not the y-intercept. And remember that b represents y-intercept, so we have a little bit of work to do here. X-intercept, remember, is the value of x when y is 0. So that's 5, 0. That means that we know that x is 5 and y is 0. Well, we can use that one point and we can use our slope-intercept form to figure out what the y-intercept is. Because now what we know, we know a value for y, we know a value for x, and we know a value for m. The thing we don't know is b. So we plug everything in that we know. Y is 0, m is -2, x is 5, and we don't know b. And you just have an equation that has one variable, and you solve it. -2 times 5 is -10, plus b. You add 10 on both sides, and you get the 10 is equal to b. And now we've solved that equation, we can now do what we did on number 1 and number 2. We know that m is -2, and we know that b is 10. So we write y equals -2x plus 10. And that's the answer. And now this next question, we know the slope 4, or the slope is 3. And we know that the line goes through the point 5, 1. Right? To write an equation, you need to know two things. To write a linear equation, and you need to know slope and y-intercept. Slope and the y-intercept. And in this problem, slope is 3, so I know that. And then what I could do, we use our point to find the y-intercept. Okay. Use the 0.51 and the slope of 3 to find the y-intercept, just like we did on example number 3. And so what you do here is take your slope-intercept form, y equals mx plus b again, and you plug in everything that you know. We have an x value here, we have a y value there, and we have an m value here. So of our 4 variables, the only one we don't know is b. You just plug in. 1 is equal to 3 times 5 plus b. We do the same thing. We multiply the 3 and 5, make 15, plus b. You subtract 15 from both sides, you get that b is -14, and then you write your equation. Y equals, the slope is 3, x. Our y-intercept is negative, and since it's negative, we write -14, and there's your equation. And these are easy to check to see if they're correct or not. You can take the ordered pair 5, 1, Put 5 in where x is, put 1 in where y is, solve it, make sure you get true statement. In this case you would, 3 times 5 is 15, 15 minus 14 is 1, you get 1 equals 1, and that works. Okay, in the next one, and I just have a couple more examples just exactly the same as what we just did. Slope is -5, x is -2, and y is -3. And you have slope-intercept form. Y equals mx plus b. You know 3 of the 4 variables. You just substitute everything in. -3 equals -5 times -2 plus b. And you solve it. -3 is equal to 10 plus b. Subtract 10 on both sides, you get -13 is equal to b. Now I write my equation. I know m is -5, and I know b is -13. Since it's negative again, you write -13. That's our answer. Right, in the next one, same thing. We have m is 3/7, and we have x is -3, y is 4. And so now you write in slope-intercept form, y equals mx plus b. Substitute in everything that we know again. Oops, positive 4. Slope is 3/7 times -3 plus b. This becomes -1 2/7 plus b. You add 1 2/7 on each side, you get 5 2/7 equals b. And then your answer is just 3/7 x plus this time, because b is positive, 5 2/7. That's your answer. Hey, the last one I have is uses parallel lines. As we have the same idea as what we had before. We have the value for x and we have the value for y. And what you need to know basically is one thing here, and that's this. Parallel lines have the same slope. And so parallel lines, if they have the same slope, what that means here is we know the slope of this line is -8/3 that's given to us. So the equation we want to write has to have the same slope, -8/3. We know that x is 5, we know that y is -7. And it becomes the same idea again. Just plug into slope-intercept form. Okay, it's not any different than what we just did now. You plug them in. -7 equals -8/3 times 5 plus b. And this is -13 1/3 plus b. When you add it, you get 6 1/3 equals b. And then your answer is y equals -8/3 x plus 6 1/3. So in each one, all you're really doing is putting in values for x, y, and m. You multiply the slope times the x coordinate always, and then you add or subtract to get that to the other side and solve for b. What we'll do in the next lessons is we'll have just 2 points, and it'll be up to you to come up with the slope.